It was supposed to be another quiet drive home, a millionaire's routine night after another corporate event. The city lights faded behind him, replaced by the lonely hum of the countryside road. Daniel Hayes, a man who once believed money could buy peace, had everything: luxury, power, and the world's applause. Yet, beneath it all, he felt a haunting emptiness that even the grandest mansion couldn't silence. But that night, something shattered his solitude. A faint, fragile cry pierced through the silence. A baby's cry, echoing from the darkness. Daniel slammed the brakes, his heart thundering. Who could leave a child out here? In the cold, on an empty road? His mind raced with disbelief and fear. When he stepped out of his car and followed the sound, he had no idea that this single act, stopping for a stranger's cry, would change everything he thought he knew about life, love, and redemption. That night wasn't an accident. It was fate calling him back to humanity.
Daniel Hayes was a man carved from ambition. By 42, he had built one of the largest real estate empires in New York. His face was in magazines, his name synonymous with success. But success had come with a price: a cold penthouse, empty dinners, and a silence that clung to his soul like dust in forgotten corners. His wife had left years ago, unable to compete with his obsession for wealth. He had no children, no family left. All he had was work and the echo of his own loneliness. That night, after attending a gala filled with fake smiles and empty laughter, Daniel decided to drive himself home. He needed quiet, away from champagne glasses and hollow congratulations. The road stretched endlessly, mist swirling beneath the streetlights. He turned the radio off. Only silence remained. Then, a sound, faint, distant. He frowned. It came again. A cry. A baby's cry. He stopped the car, rolled down his window, and listened. The sound was unmistakable now, desperate, weak, trembling. Daniel's pulse quickened. He got out, scanning the darkness, his breath visible in the chill air. Following the cries, he found a small cardboard box near a roadside bench. Inside, a baby girl, wrapped in a torn blanket, shivering. Daniel froze. The world seemed to stop. For a moment, he just stood there, unable to move, staring at her tiny face. Then instinct took over. He picked her up, wrapped her in his coat, and whispered, "It's okay. You're safe now." As he held her, something inside him cracked, something that had been sealed for years. He rushed to the nearest hospital. Doctors took the child immediately, asking questions. "Do you know who the parents are?" Daniel shook his head, still in shock. But as he watched them care for the baby, a strange thought crossed his mind. What if she was meant to find me?
Daniel couldn't sleep that night. He kept thinking about her, those tiny fingers, the way she clutched his coat. The image haunted him. The hospital said the police would take over the case, but Daniel couldn't let it go. He went back the next day. The baby was still there, unnamed, unclaimed. "We filed a report," the nurse told him softly, "but no one's come forward." Daniel stood by the crib, staring down at her. Her big brown eyes blinked up at him, and for the first time in years, he smiled, a real, unguarded smile. He found himself visiting every day. He brought toys, clothes, even read stories aloud to her. The staff began calling him the baby's guardian angel. When social services announced they'd soon move her to a foster home, Daniel made a decision that shocked even himself. He applied to adopt her. The process was long, full of legal hurdles and skeptical glances. A billionaire adopting an abandoned baby? Many thought it was charity or guilt. But Daniel didn't care. For the first time in his life, he wasn't chasing profit, he was chasing purpose. Months later, it became official. He named her Leela.
Years passed. Daniel was no longer the same man. His company still thrived, but he had changed the way he lived. The mansion that once felt like a prison now echoed with laughter and lullabies. He traded boardrooms for bedtime stories, profit charts for painting days in the park. Leela grew up curious, full of warmth, everything Daniel had lost in himself. She became his light. When she turned 5, Daniel took her back to the same road where he had found her. The wind was calm, the night quiet. "This is where my life began again," he whispered. Leela looked up, holding his hand. "Because of me?" Daniel smiled, tears glistening. "Because of you." That night, under the same stars that had once witnessed his emptiness, Daniel finally understood the greatest riches were never in the bank, but in the heart that learns to love again. Years later, Daniel's story went viral. The millionaire who found his daughter on an empty road. People called him a hero, but he always laughed and said, "No, she saved me." When Daniel passed away at 70, Leela continued his legacy, turning his company into a foundation that built homes for abandoned children. Every road that foundation paved began with a small plaque that read, "Dedicated to the night love found its way back home." And so, the cry of a lost baby had once changed the course of a millionaire's soul, proving that sometimes the smallest voice in the darkest night can awaken the biggest heart.